All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the recap. Michael D'Angelo, joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Big D, Daryl Ortiz. We are 1 week away from Survivor Series War Games. Where did the time go, Big D?
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving's
flew.
this
I'm
week
sure they're
too.
wondering too, because now it's like a last minute scramble because we don't really have many matches for War Games. But yeah, here we
Yeah, you were
go.
saying four announced matches so far. I have to
Yeah.
imagine they'll do like the fifth one is probably going to be the Survivor Series traditional tag. Is that going to
No,
be the
they announced
Wyatts
that for
or?
SmackDown.
Oh, it's going to
Oh,
be on
for the
SmackDown.
Wyatts.
Yeah, the Wyatts. That's why I'm wondering because that should be in the works that they're going to do some sort of a Wyatt tag match.
I
Uh,
don't know because
and
they
I
they
wonder if that's going to
announced
be the opener.
last Friday. I think they announced that they were going to do a traditional War Games match between the MFTs and Sammy's
And
team
Sammy's team,
for next
but
Friday.
that's SmackDown. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
We'll
weird.
see. We'll see how this plays out. But yeah, this was the Fast and Furious Monday Night Raw. Also, I didn't see it live. I saw it like the recording or the
Hmm.
recording the next day. It was only like an hour and 45 minutes of
Yeah,
like. So
not
I
much
will say
happened.
this: it was fun because it was such a short show and they jam packed everything.
Yeah.
That I actually enjoyed this Raw more so than I ever have, at least in recent memory. And this was John Cena's final Raw. John Cena's final Monday Night Raw. So this is cool. But take us through Monday Night Raw, Big D.
Yeah, so essentially we kicked off, of course, we're at Madison Square Garden. John Cena naturally is going to come out his last appearance at Madison Square Garden on Raw.
Yeah.
This was actually a cool moment, but as he was talking, of course, he gets interrupted. And so ends up leading into, of course, Dom wanting a rematch for the title. And I thought we were going to have a rinse and repeat of what happened the week prior, but no, we didn't. Instead, at the end of the day, we ended up with, Dom showed up with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and then Cena had help from Rey Mysterio and Sheamus, so we ended up having a 6-man tag match, which was actually, for being thrown together like that, it was actually very entertaining and very
Yeah, it
fun.
was
I really
fun.
enjoyed that match. And there was actually a really nice spot where Cena wanted to do a triple five knuckle shuffle, and Sheamus noticed that he was in the center,
Yeah.
and he like moved John to the center and like, was like, hey man, you
Yeah,
go
they
to the
switched
center,
positions. Yeah, that was
which was
that was
cool. I
neat.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a
Yeah.
nice little touch there. But of course, Faces won. They came up
Of
on
course.
top. John Cena came up over on his thing. They did announce that there's going to be the match at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental title between John Cena and Dominic Mysterio. Which, once we get into predictions, we can kind of talk about that. But
Yeah.
that was a fun way to open up Raw. I liked that it was like half promo, but it was cut off, and then we got like a nice, really fun. It was kind of like the old school and the new school, so to speak,
Yeah.
because it was super cool to see. But yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I think for what it was, it's his last. They say last appearance on Raw. He'll appear on Monday Night Raw at some point down in the future. This is his last time wrestling
Right.
on Raw,
Right.
obviously as a member of the active roster. But I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a nice little send off, making it a triple threat, or excuse me, a 6-man tag made more sense just so that he's not working the whole time.
Mhm.
So it was cool. I thought it was good stuff. And then we saw John Cena's ex after
I know.
that.
Yeah. After
Back to back
that,
segments.
speaking of jealousy, we had Nikki Bella sneak attack Stephanie Vaquer on her ring entrance and
Yeah.
challenge for the title, of course, as predicted. So they are going to have a women's championship match at Survivor Series. Please,
Yeah.
for the love of God, I hope Nikki does not win because she does not
I
need
can't
it.
imagine she will. Like that would for me be really deflating because they did nothing to build this up. You had Nikki
Yeah.
jump Stephanie from behind in the show, and then she cut a pretty weak promo about
Yeah.
I built this division, and I'm thinking, wow,
Hmm.
Nikki, you still can't cut a promo after all this time. So
I mean, you're
this
with John.
this
You'd think
one
you'd learn something.
you'd think so, but apparently not. But so it was kind of a weak promo, and it was what it was. But hopefully they do the right thing, and Stephanie McGill retains.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's Stephanie, and I'm hoping that she does retain that because I don't. It's too soon for her to drop anything. So,
Yeah,
but actually, one thing I did want to mention, a little shout out there, just because of course, I root for ASU and Texas, but ASU
yeah,
moment there, we had Cam Scadaboo with Andrew Scholes on the side with
yeah.
for the prior match, kind of jaw jacking with Finn Balor. I thought was really cool.
And,
Something
he,
fun
and
for
and
him to
and
do.
Cam got a bunch of criticism. They're like, he's injured and he's doing a shoving match. What is he
Did you see his
doing?
response though? He's like, "Hey, let me have fun. Y'all mind
Yeah,
your
yeah,
business."
exactly. It's like, dude's recovering. He's not putting himself at risk. He's not going to have his career in doing the fake shoving match. He's fine. Let him
Yeah.
enjoy himself. please.
It was a good moment. I liked
It
it.
was cool. It
It's
was fun.
fitting for him. If anyone's going to be like participating in WWE stuff, I'd imagine to be Cam
Yeah,
Scatterby.
that's
Like,
totally up his
I
alley.
mean,
So I'm like,
yeah,
leave the guy alone. Let him have a little fun.
exactly. After that, we had Solo Sokoa with his mystery challenger, and I was actually very happy I was wrong because I think I was anticipating it being Joe Hendry. We talked
So
about
was
how he
I.
was already
Yeah.
signed, but to our surprise, Dolph Ziggler, well,
Dolph
Nick Nemeth,
Ziggler.
coming out in his Dolph Ziggler theme and attire, which I'm gonna be completely honest. Like Dolph Ziggler's show off ring entrance song, that's actually in my workout playlist because
Oh, nice.
it's one of my favorite ring entrances, aside from Batista's, of course.
Yeah.
But like, it was great to see that come up, and I was like, hell yeah! So we had Dolph Ziggler come out, and of course they did the right thing. It would have been too soon to let Dolph, just come in and just win it, but
Yeah.
he put on a hell of a match with Solo, made Solo look really, really good. I mean, Solo does good already, but this actually was very good for him as well. Solo did come out on top after a hard fought match. And you have to just applaud Dolph's ability to sell everything.
Yeah.
Like that man can
Well, he
sell
was
moves.
great, and there was a little zigzag fake out where I thought, oh man, he hit the zigzag, he's gonna win,
Yeah.
and Solo ended up kicking out of it. This one was really good, and I really enjoyed it. And I will say we probably should have seen it coming because in John Cena's version of the Pipe Bomb promo,
Yes.
he mentioned, I see you, Nick Nemeth, I see you, Matt Cardona, and both of those men were the surprise
Yes.
opponents.
It was in front of us the whole time, and we just
Yeah,
totally just like
which
missed it.
like it went over my head, and it probably should have jogged my memory. And Matt Cardona was the first mystery opponent, but it
Yeah.
didn't. So when it
But you know
happened, I
what?
was
I
like,
like
"Oh, that's
that.
cool."
I
Yeah,
love that about pro wrestling. I love that they did that. And again, yeah, you go back and you think about it, and you're like, oh crap, he did
yeah.
call
He
them.
he
Like,
called them
oh,
out both specifically. So I was
yeah,
like that, and that was cool, and that was a nice little, I would say, tribute to them in terms of John Cena pulling some strings and getting them to include them. Clearly not
hell yeah.
advancing either one of them, but it was still nice.
Hell yeah, I agree. After that, we had Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky come out to try and address Charlotte. Alexa, telling Charlotte, I thought I knew better, all that good stuff. But then, of course, here come the heels to jump them and to come save the day is Charlotte with some soft kendo hits. I swear she needs to work on those swings, but
Yeah,
she
she's
needs
just
to.
touching him up.
Yeah, yeah,
The
but
whole
it's
time.
okay. She came out for
Yeah,
the save. The main point is she came out for the save. Left everyone wondering, is she going to come and just swallow her pride and do it? We'll have that
yeah,
answer shortly here on SmackDown. But yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, it was good to see. I liked her coming out for the save. Just makes more sense for the story. So
yeah.
it was just to further the storyline and kind of keep us in anticipation for SmackDown. So
Yep,
it did its job.
absolutely. It did what it needed to do.
We had the shock of the night after that. Maxine Dupree defeating Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title with
Yeah.
a little interference from AJ Lee.
AJ
I was
Lee.
happy to hear the song come up and hit. And so AJ just kind of came out and watched her. Obviously, her and Becky still have their beef. Obviously, I'm glad they're still going along with that.
Yeah.
Distracted her enough for Maxine to take advantage and win the title. Good on Maxine. Becky is now going to be, of course, entering her feud with AJ Lee, which does pay off in
Yeah.
SmackDown. But it was kind of
It
telegraphed
does.
on Raw
Yeah.
because Rhea comes out and is like, I need to talk to you. And they have their arms around each other and they just walk away. And I'm like, well, there's their fifth member. I mean,
Yeah, I was like, this is obvious. And the funny, and yeah, spoiler alert. So AJ and Becky Lynch are the fifth members of each team. Although that does feel thrown together because they've had a beef with each other, but they haven't really interacted with the rest of the women involved in this. So this just feels like we're adding them on for star power and name power, but they're not really intertwined with the rest of these stories. So
I'm okay
it
with it
felt
though.
lazy. Yeah,
No, I'm
I
okay
mean,
with it though. Yeah, it's going to be good.
well, it's his AJ Lee. You're totally fine with it. Whatever gets her in the War Games match, Big D doesn't care.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. Folks in
Yeah.
the comments can definitely chime in there. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
I'm
But
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, we had actually a fun match between Javon Evans and Gunther. Gunther making his return after some time off, and good match. I mean,
Yeah.
Javon Evans is great in the ring. That kid is a future star for sure.
This was my match of the night. I thought
this was so much
best
fun.
wrestled match of the night. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, because their styles were just so opposite of one another, right? And it was just so good. I really enjoyed it. Gunther win by tapping out Javon Evans in the sleeper hold. Gunther's going to, of course, move on. like I said before, my guess is that Gunther's going to be the one to beat John Cena's last match, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I think. But this
It would
match
have
was
been
really fun.
it would have been nice to see Javon Evans win here because I'm like looking at the bracket and there's not really any super young
Mm-mm.
upstarts except for
Yeah,
Carmelo Hayes maybe. I mean, but he's been
yeah, but
around. He's been on the
yeah,
main
but
roster for a
who
little
is he
while.
going up against now next
Well, now
week?
he go against Gunther, right? Because
Yeah, he's going to
the
lose.
winner of Bronson Reed versus Carmelo Hayes was going to go up against Gunther, so
Yeah,
he'll probably lose to Gunther. It's just one of those things that I really wish they had saved the final spot for John Cena. I really wish it was like an NXT guy who's going to come
like
out
to
and do
put
it.
over an NXT guy.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
because the whole point of this was supposed to be the
like paying
symmetry
homage to where he
of
started.
when he started
OVW.
against Kurt Angle,
Mhm.
he was nobody, and he came out against Kurt Angle and got his shot. Like that's the whole
Yeah,
point of this. So it's like then do that with one of the real young talents.
yeah,
But it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. It does feel more and more like they're getting to face off with him and Gunther's going to retire him, and now he will retire Goldberg and John Cena.
yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. But this was my match of the night. This was
Yeah.
a very great match. Gunther's just an amazing athlete and wrestler. Javon Evans is just phenomenal as
Yeah.
well. So
And
this was
Gunther
very fun.
looked leaner, but also
Yeah.
more pumped up right now. Too. Like
Yeah.
he had more muscle mass, but he still looked very lean. So he looked
Yeah.
good. He looked good.
Yeah,
Coming back.
exactly. I loved it. After that, we had, of course, the face off between the Vision and Team Rhodes, as I would
Yeah.
just call it. And of course, to our obvious speculation, the extra
Yeah.
members are Brock Lesnar. You heard the music hit because CM Punk was about to hit a GTS. And then again, Brock Lesnar's music is still one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
You hear the
That
you hear the
little
guitar riff, and it's like,
yeah, when
yeah,
it starts
I
off,
love it.
it's great. It's absolutely awesome.
The
And
of
very,
course the
very
crowd.
it's very like it's not like you're going to get confused with somebody else's music. Like as soon as
Oh
you
yeah,
hear
that's
that little
Brock.
guitar
Yeah,
riff, you're like, oh, Brock's here.
yeah.
So you always get a good pop.
It's so good. He came out, and of course, he started clearing house. Then Roman Reigns, of course, as predicted, everyone chanting OTC. Roman Reigns comes out.
Yeah.
And there we have the teams: Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and the Usos versus Brock Lesnar, The Vision, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. So it's going to be a very, very brutal War Games match from the looks of it, because you got some heavy hitters there and some people that aren't afraid to bleed. So this is going to be a very fun match. So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. I mean, they keep talking about this is the best lineup ever for a War Games match, and it might be. I will say, like Lesnar coming out and just absolutely trashing CM Punk and Cody Rhodes easily, and then really overselling that one Superman punch from Roman Reigns. That was a little like, huh? Like, how do you go from being this absolute monster can't be stopped, and that one Superman punch, he sold it like a shotgun blast to the face, which is a little much. And then he just kind of rolled out of the ring and popped up.
No, I think what happened was I think they just, maybe he was a little too close to the center of the ring. I think he was supposed to be closer to the edge of the ring. It was just supposed to kind of like knock him out of the ring on accident. You know what I mean? But I mean, he, again, Brock Lesnar, true professional. He just rolled out and was like he knew the spot. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think they just misjudged the
it was a little strange when I saw it, and I was like, all right. But and this lineup makes sense though, because you can say, well, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre shoehorned in. Not really, because Rhodes has been feuding with the Vision this whole time.
Exactly,
so it makes sense for him to be a part of it. Drew McIntyre has been feuding with Cody this whole time and just lost in that world title match for him, so it makes sense for him to be in there because he wants to hurt Cody. And it's a lot of ex-Heyman guys versus new Heyman guys. So everyone's inclusion here makes a lot of sense. Like, unlike just kind of plugging in AJ and Becky in the women's War Game match, this one, there's symmetry all around. It makes sense with the rosters that they have lined up. So I'm looking forward to it. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be lots of fun. I like how they were mentioning the tsunamis that Bronson Reed would do off the cage, and I'm like, let's be careful, because that's how he injured himself last time.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah, that was at War Games last year. So lesson learned. Hopefully, he doesn't want to injure both of his ankles.
But that was Raw. Again, it was short, sweet, to the point. I really enjoyed this Raw. Great Raw, because the crowd was awesome as well. The matches were fun. Actually, really, none of them dragged. I felt like none of them really dragged. None of the segments dragged. This was
long matches.
Perfect.
They weren't long segments. It was really good. It was a tight, like, hour and 45 minutes of actual wrestling. So it was
but that was Raw. It was good. I enjoyed it. And on SmackDown, we continued on SmackDown immediately with the Vision and Logan Paul coming down to out in the ring, cutting the promo with War Games coming up in a week, essentially at this point. He hyped up. It was Paul Heyman hyping everybody up, basically. Then Logan Paul got the mic for a second, and as soon as he got the mic, thank goodness, he got interrupted by the Usos entrance. So we didn't have to hear from him very much.
And then they did some jawing back and forth, and they were like, "We're not alone." And then Cody's music hits, and then they're waiting and nothing happens, and then you see on the jumbotron, which didn't make sense to me, how you have the cameraman running to the bus, but nobody's at the bus, nothing's happened, there's not a brawl happening outside of the bus, but the cameraman comes rushing up, and then you see the door open up and Drew McIntyre gets out, and he's all like sweaty and smiling, and then you see Cody like dangling upside down, hanging out of the seat, over the top. And so the Usos see this and then start running to the back, and they take off, they run. Now they see it on the Tron like everybody else, and then they're running, and then you just hear Paul Heyman going, "They're still running, look at them, they're still running." And they run, and they finally get there, and they're like, "Cody, what happened, what happened?" I'm like, "What do you mean what happened? Why,
Yeah.
why are you asking what happened? You clearly saw Drew McIntyre get out, smile at the camera. Cody got beat up by Drew McIntyre." So it was this kind of unintentional comedy that cracked me up. So I'm like, really, guys, why are you asking him what happened? Why are you confused about what happened? You just saw this. So it was a little silly for me, but this is just part of the War Games thing. You got to
Yeah, it
keep
was.
hyping it up.
Yeah, and it was actually a really good spot if you think about it with how well thought out Paul Heyman's plans are. He
Yeah,
accounted for that, and he technically later on in the night um he told the GM like, "Hey, he's not in the arena; he's in the parking lot."
yeah,
And I'm
he's
like,
in the
"That's
parking lot.
true. I mean, technicalities." And so yeah, Drew stood there, and then he drove off laughing, and that's just kind of it was a good little way to kind of further that story because of course they just have that feud going on, and of course they tied
Yeah,
into later on in the evening, but we'll wait for
yeah.
that.
Tied into later. So Cody was hurt. They took him away. They're like, "We don't have any updates. We can't tell you how hurt he is or what's going on with
Hmm.
him." Nick Aldis very upset. After this, we got the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. I didn't call it the U.S. Open this time. I call it the U.S. Championship Open Challenge, with Ilya Dragunov taking on JD McDonough of all people. Kind of this was set up because JD was already going to be there for Finn
Hmm.
Balor's qualifier. This was a really great match. This is my
I
match of the
loved it.
night.
Yeah,
I thought
same,
it was really,
same,
really good.
same.
Obviously, Jay's been getting talked up a lot on commentary, which I thought was funny too. Is that Michael Cole was all talking about how I've been saying for years how great JD McDonough is, and I was like, I thought Michael Cole made fun of JD a lot and said he had a big head
He
and was
still
always
did,
bragging it.
but
And yeah, he
I
said it,
mean,
but he was talking about how JD's a real contender and how great he is, and I was like, oh, this is way more positive than you usually are about JD. But he always does great work, so it's nice to see that he's getting showcased more. Obviously,
yeah,
Ilya was going to retain here with the H1, which he did. But this was really great stuff. My match of the
yeah.
night for SmackDown.
I liked it a lot. I liked also the what was it? He had reversed one of the moves into a Spanish fly, which
Yeah,
was really really cool. And again, just JD showing off how great of a wrestler he actually is. I mean, a comedy gimmick aside,
yeah.
like he is a great athlete, great wrestler, and it showed. I mean, him and Ilya, like they have a history back at NXT UK,
Mm-hmm.
and this was, I like it a lot. I wish they would do a little more stuff like this with JD because he is such a great wrestler. So
He is, and I'm glad that he's not, like you said, he's not just the butt of a joke anymore.
yeah,
Because a few weeks ago, when he like stood up to Rusev and was like, he's like, I'll fight him, or to Sheamus when they were
yeah.
trying to set up the match, and he goes, "I'll fight Sheamus," and then Finn was like, and like that, and but he's like, "Yeah, I don't care." It was kind of like this tough guy that even though he's clearly much smaller than Sheamus, it wasn't unbelievable. It was like,
Hmm.
oh man, like yeah, he's gonna go for it, and he's got a shot here. So I prefer this version of JD
Hmm.
versus all the tongue in cheek silliness,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
kind
you
of
could have that stuff backstage if you want, but
you
like in
can
the ring, like that's like he's a
like
great
he's
wrestler.
dangerous. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
dangerous man in the ring, and that's what I really like about this. After this, we had Carmelo Hayes versus Bronson Reed in the Last Time Is Now tournament. You did eventually have Logan Paul and Braun Breaker show up at the rings, show up ringside to provide distractions. And there was like a moment. First of all, I will say this was a really great match. Carmelo Hayes
It
looked
was.
fantastic during this
Hmm.
match, but you kind of knew with the vision at ringside, Monster
Shenanigans.
heel. There's going to be shenanigans. And there wouldn't be a win for Carmelo unless they got help from the War Games team, which of course they did. So there was kind of an odd sequence here that I was not super happy with. You had Braun Breaker in full view of the ref, kind of pull his shirt off, and then he's going to do the run around the ring to try to spear Carmelo, which the Usos jump in and intercept. And they start fighting him off. To which I say, just let him spear Carmelo. Then the match is over and it's a DQ and Reed lost, and the ref's watching.
Hmm.
So that didn't make a ton of sense. But it's like, okay, you've got everybody fighting. Then, and I'm okay with the Usos there because all they did was even the odds. They got Logan Paul and Braun Breaker out of there. So now it's just one on one again. Then you have Cody, who at this point, if we're still pretending that Cody Rhodes is not a heel, Cody comes out here. First off, apparently totally okay from the beatdown earlier. He seems like totally fine. He's just angry now. Then he arrives when the referee's back is turned, attacks Bronson Reed outside, hits him into the post, hits a crossroad, brutalizes Bronson Reed so badly that he can't answer the count, and Bronson Reed gets counted out, and Carmelo Hayes retains. So you attacked the other contender. You did it basically behind the ref's back so they would get counted out and they would lose a match. Then he got up on the microphone and, like the narcissist he is, talked about how great he is and made fun of the Steiner family, talked about how the War Games match is kind of his bloodline and his heritage and his birthright. And I'm like, what a tool. Like everything about it made me go, Cody, you do the heel shtick every single time now. This is all heel stuff, and you continue to do all heel stuff, and you cheated to cost this match. And I don't care if it's against the Vision, and I don't care you're fighting them at War Games. You still cheated to allow Carmelo Hayes to win. So I just don't understand how we're continuing to pretend that Cody Rhodes is not a heel. Get off my.
I mean, I think it's inevitable to see the Cody heel turn. But like I said, I'd rather him do it while he's holding the title. I just think it would be good.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell it as like, he's just frustrated and fed up, and he's just wants to do what's right. And I get it, but no, I'm saying, like, I get it, but at the same time, like, he's still doing these little things that are heelish, and it's just like makes you wonder, right? And
and it's not even like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like anti-hero kind of stuff. It's not really that. Like these are really kind of full blown heel tactics,
right? Yeah, using foreign objects, attacking behind refs' back. So I mean, we'll see what happens with it, but I mean, it should make, like I said, to our point, the War Games match is going to be, that much more heated because obviously
it'll be great.
Obviously, the Vision's going to be pissed because they caused Bronson Reed his opportunity at the last chance. Let's fight now. So,
so Carmelo Hayes advances to get sacrificed to Gunther. That's basically it. You get shot to death by Gunther. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. After this, we had Fraxian versus DIY next, which was fine. It ended with silliness because Candice LeRae was ringside and she pulled Axiom's mask off when the ref wasn't looking. And Nathan Frazier also took a kind of a rough bump in this match where he went to the outside, flipped over the ropes, didn't really get caught by Ciampa, and kind of landed back first pretty hard. He looked like he was okay. I just saw it when it happened. I was like, oh man, that looks pretty hurt. But DIY picks up the win. It was fine. There just wasn't much to say here.
Not a whole lot. It was fine. I mean, they're two good tag teams. They're going to put on a decent match. So
yeah. So women's War Game match precursors. We also got what I would describe as being this kind of silly, overly somatic promo with music in the background that was, I guess, supposed to be happening live between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, where they were both sitting in chairs because earlier in the night they were like, "Hey, you guys need to work this beef out." And then it was like, they're sitting there and the music's like dun 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 dun, and then it was overly dramatic. It's like, I know you don't like me and I don't like you, but we got to work together. And then after like 10 seconds, they shook hands and they're fine now. So all this thing about will they, won't they got resolved in a very silly, very short, overly cinematic promo that happened backstage. So I didn't like this. Felt like the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes at the stadium.
I remember that one.
Except thank goodness it was like 10 seconds long instead of like 20 minutes long. So
I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but I feel like you would have gotten more done by leaving it as like Alexa takes her into the locker room. They show Rhea there. She sits down. Charlotte sits down. Io and Alexa leave and close the door, and then leave it at that, right? And then when they instead of doing that weird segment, cut back to that locker room and have them walk out, and then just they can just like they just kind of walk out and maybe say a word or two and just be like, all right, like we're good.
To
then.
your point,
and then
just address it during that the final segment was the women's War Game wrap up,
so right? Like, but I mean, I'm saying if you wanted to do some kind of
walk down together, and it's like, all right, you don't have to show it. Just be
Yeah,
like,
I could have done without the little middle part. I don't think it didn't really help anything, but
no,
I mean,
it didn't. But
it was so
it was what it was. So Charlotte's cool now.
they're cool now.
They're cool. They're cool. They're sisters now. It's great. After this, we had Finn Balor versus Penta in the last time is now tournament. Penta advances, hit the Mexican Destroyer for the win. Good match, fun match.
Oh yeah.
It kind of was what it was. So Penta moves on. Again, it'd be cool to see. And it's not like Penta's a young talent. He's been around for a long, long time on the independents. He's new to
Mm-hmm.
Raw, but at this point, I'd like to see somebody who's maybe newer to the roster, that has a lot to gain by beating John Cena in the final match. But Penta's probably not going to be the one to do it either. But this was a good match.
Yeah, this was a fun match. Of course, you expect it to be Finn Balor and Penta. I mean, how can you mess that up? So it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And then they did the announcement that they said we're going to have more notes. Sheamus was injured, so he's out of the tournament. And then more to come on SmackDown. There wasn't more to come on SmackDown. That's that's it. They said Sheamus is injured, out of the tournament. We'll decide what will happen to his spot. To which I say, technically, shouldn't it just be Shinsuke Nakamura's spot now, since they faced each other? If he's in most combat sports, if the winner's unable to continue and the person who lost the last match is healthy, they move on. That's just how it goes. And Shinsuke looks like he's fine. So technically, it should be Shinsuke. They're not going to do that.
No.
This is where I wonder if they sneak Joe Hendry in here now. At this point, I don't know what they're going to really do here. And they just said that they're working together. I think it's Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis are working together to decide what to do here.
Yeah, it might be a way to get Joe Hendry in there or somebody else that we may not have thought of. I mean, I like the way this has been kind of like a how can I say, this has been kind of a nice little surprise along the way, just because it's been catching us off guard, and I've been enjoying it. So I'm happy with that. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm kind of trying to think. I'm trying to think who it could be, unless they just let LA Knight advance. But
yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. And if they do LA Knight versus Joe Hendry, that's going to suck. Like, the match will be good, but I'd like to see both of them in the finals. And so if they stick them together like in the quarterfinals, it's gonna suck.
What if it's The Miz?
Oh, I hope not.
It might be.
It might be. It very well might be. Maybe we'll get another.
So you could set up like a Miz and Carmelo Hayes. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
El Grande Americano.
That would be great. You should have El Grande Americano, and they should have put them all. They should have put Rio and Bravo in there in the and they have
Rayo
in the tournament. Rayo, excuse me. Yeah. I'm still going with Rio Bravo. Rayo and Bravo. Final segment though was the face-off for the women's War Games match. You had Rhea come out with her team, and then Rhea introduced their fifth member, which of course, as we said earlier, was AJ Lee. And then as she was walking out, Nia's team just jumped in the ring and attacked Rhea's team. And AJ continued to kind of do her slow skip. And I'm thinking, get down there, AJ.
I think they're trying to play it as like, I think she was too busy looking at the crowd and like pandering to the crowd. And then she was like, oh crap. It was weird. It was weird because she's there and like they're like, you know what it did though?
What?
It did make me think that she was going to join the heel War Games team.
Yeah.
Because she just kind of stood there and looked, and I was like, "Ooh, heel turn," but no.
Yeah. I was wondering if maybe that they were waiting because Becky blindsided her when she ran down, and so Becky's the fifth member for the heel team. So maybe it was just like a timing of they needed to wait till Becky was in position to be able to blindside her.
She needed her cue to start running.
Yeah, that's what I think part of it was, but it's still timed out. It was like Jeff Hardy, like if Matt Hardy's getting beat up, and then Jeff Hardy comes out and does the whole, and he's like dancing to the top, and it's like Jeff, just get down there.
Yeah,
Matt needs your help. Run your ass out. So it was interesting, but so that's basically what this whole thing was to set up. Final two members, Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, are going to be part of the women's War Game match, and that was it for SmackDown. We put everything in place. So I know we've got 4 matches, Big D. We want to run through real quick predictions.
Yeah, so we have Team Cody versus Team Vision. I have a feeling something's telling me. Excuse me. Let me go back to this little snippet here. I wanted to see something here.
Yeah.
It would make sense in my eyes for Team Vision to win. I feel just because you need it. You want heel Cody eventually, and I think this is the way you do it. Like his
Yeah.
frustrations of just not getting one over. Plus, it gives Drew an entitlement to the title again, another title match against Cody. At which point they may as well just drop the title on Drew, and it also furthers how like the vision it pushes Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed a little bit more. So I don't know. I just something tells me Team Vision is gonna win, or I should call it
Yeah.
Team Heyman is what I guess what I should call it because it's the I don't want Logan Paul to win, but he's just gonna win because he just happened to be right place, right time. So
Yeah. It's hard to say. Like I always feel like on these team ones, it's kind of anticlimactic, and the faces end up winning. That's always how it feels to me. But I will say it would make sense if you had Cody turn heel here at this point and join the Vision and join Paul Heyman. And because they really still don't have a leader. Logan Paul's not there as a leader. Seth Rollins is gone. Braun Breaker's still the future. They've done all these posters and promos for WrestleMania, and the WrestleMania promos. It's all what CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Cody
Cody's in there.
Rhodes. Yeah, and they're all Heyman guys except for Cody. And
Yeah.
so that's where I'm like, is this kind of the teaser for you had the four of them in that room, and Cody's never really been a Paul Heyman guy, but now this is the time for him to officially do that heel turn and come in and take over for Seth Rollins. That's probably a long shot stretch, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say we finally see the Cody heel turn and he turns on his team,
That
and
works.
that's what I'm gonna go with.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that happening. I wouldn't be opposed to that. That wouldn't upset me. So I'm good with that. After that, we have Team Rhea versus Team Asuka. War Games match again. I'm going Team Rhea just because
same here.
the face they're going to win. So, I mean.
Team Rhea is not losing this one. They'll win in a pretty dominant fashion, and I'll stand tall at the end.
Yeah. After that, we have Cena versus Dom for the IC title. Dom's going to reclaim his title.
I agree with that one.
It's going to help. It's going to help boost his persona. It's going to help boost him. They're in San Diego, his hometown. Yeah. Dom is so over. It would just if Cena's going to give the rub to a younger talent, it's going to be Dom in this instance here.
Well, and it makes sense too because I didn't see them doing the last time is now match, that final match, as the Intercontinental title. Match. It doesn't make sense for them to do that. Also,
because if it was, they'd be like, "Will it be for the Intercontinental title?"
Yeah, it's like they haven't really teased that at all. So it does feel to me like they are just going to have him drop it to Dom, and then that last match is just his last match. So I agree with that one.
Yeah. So because it's also on Saturday Night Main Event, they don't like doing big title changes in that as well. So and plus, if it's Gunther and Cena, you don't want to just put the IC title back on Gunther. You're trying to push him for a heavyweight title.
Yeah, you should push him for a world title run. So agreed.
After that, we have Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. I got Stephanie going
agreed
into
here.
Winning.
Better be Stephanie. If it's Nikki Bella, we riot.
We riot because she don't need to win nothing.
Exactly.
But yeah, those are the ones that have been announced so far. I know Friday, just for funsies, on SmackDown, we're going to have Team Sammy versus MFTs. I feel that MFTs are going to win this one just because they've been on a roll, and maybe we'll have the Wyatts kind of come out and do some stuff to them. So.
Yeah, I'll take the opposite direction, and I'll say I think Team Sammy wins from interference from the Wyatts. I think the Wyatts appear and attack them, and that it'll just be like a feel-good moment for Team Sammy, and then they're going to pivot to the Wyatts and the MFTs feuding for the titles, and they'll just kind of do it as a roundabout way.
But Makes sense.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it for this week, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments. We always love to hear from you, whether you agree with us, disagree with us, just want to talk about wrestling. We always love to hear from you, and we appreciate the support as always. That's what we got. Next week will be the War Games recap, so looking forward to all of those matches as well. Should be a great one. But until then, I've been Michael D'Angelo. He's been Big D, Daryl Ortiz. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you soon.